Hey, what's up, everyone? Today I'm going to be going over a project that I've been working on in the past month, which is basically auto blogging to WordPress using ChatGPT and langchain. If you don't know what langchain is, it's a popular way of using ChatGPT in code. And yeah, I've been using it for the past month and I like it a lot. A lot of people use it. So, the way this app works is you basically take a list of keywords here in a CSV and you put your keywords. You can export directly from Ahrefs and get a list of keywords. So here I've just gotten keywords based on superfood for um, keyword difficulty under 7, and then I took the list of keywords and I gave it to ChatGPT and I was like, remove any duplicate search intent from these keywords. So now it was about like 7 were duplicate search intents. So now I have like 49 keywords in this keyword list, and then my app's gonna take just one keyword at a time, research it, and then give back a 2,000 to 4,000 word article. So the best that you can really find out there for open source code doing this can give you like only 800 word articles, so that's not really sufficient to rank and stuff like that. And this does like you know uh, more like more thorough articles. So the way that it works is, like I said, you just put your keyword list in here in the CSV file folder, and then here I'll get more into it after I show you how to run it. So Python, make sure that obviously you have your conda activate my langchain new 2, and that already has all of my requirements installed. If you want to know more about the setup and stuff, just go to the GitHub, and then you run it like Python 3 GPT keyword.py keyword, and then that's the list of that's the name of your CSV file. So mine was superfood, and then the category, which is the category that you want it to fall under on your WordPress website. So it'll create that if you don't have it. Otherwise, it'll use the one that you have. House and household is the one that I want it to be under. So yeah, just that should work. And then it gives a few errors that you just have to ignore for the headers. And then as you can see, it says processing Euro 1 out of 6. Fetching content. So now I'll just quickly show you guys the type of articles that it writes and like some examples. So this is my site that I'm testing it on, and you can see like here are some of the articles, like discover the delicious and nutritious awakened superfood chocolate. So I think awakened superfood chocolate was probably the keyword there, and then it'll make you a nice title, good slug, um, and then it gives you an intro around 300 400 words. Let's see, 250 244 words in that intro, and then it'll give you 10 to 13. It's supposed to do 10 to 13 headings. This one has probably like, hey, it looks like 10 or 12 or something like that. But yeah, each one has like pretty unique writing. Like there's sometimes like duplicate, paragraphs that are like not quite unique because it's overlapping a bit. Some of these headings are overlapping in what they're about, and so you will sometimes have that problem. But for the most part, everything's unique and it works well. And I'll show you now, how the app works if you want to stick around for that, um, so that you can get a better idea of how you might be able to change it to your liking. So this is the main file that you use to start the app, and It's using OpenRouter, which is a third-party app that has a bunch of models, and I was testing with Llama and Claude 2, Claude 1, and which are a little bit cheaper than the 16K model, and Claude 1 can handle 100K tokens, which was cool, but none of them really worked as well in terms of output parsing. Like, you couldn't really get anything consistent. So how it works is so search and summarize web URL is the main function that comes up first, running it in async with asyncio, and search and summarize is everything up here, processing URL 1, and then in that it goes to that page using playwright Python, so it's better than requests, so you won't run into as many captchas to prove that you're a human. So it'll summarize it into 500 words, like here, summarize the whole page, and then it'll take the first page of organic search results. In this case, there's only 6 organic search results, and then it'll add each summary to a string, and then you'll have every summary in a string, and so then you have basically the the first page of search results summarized in a string, and that does use ChatGPT to summarize them. So then you have the context, and then I just put the context in a text file and then load it into ChromaDB so that I can get a retriever, because I want to, instead of passing the context into each prompt in total, that would take 5,000 around 5,000 tokens each run, and then the memory would just make it unbelievably big and waste a lot of resources. So that's why I've done the Chroma with the OpenAI embeddings, and so you have a vector store, so you can use that as a retriever later in the other functions that'll show in a little bit. So here's just printing out the keyword. Slug schemas is in schemas. Slug schemas. It's asking to make a 4 to 7 word slug. Has format instructions that'll output as JSON, and then you can get the slug at the very end of this file after a little bit of output parsing. So that's using langchain, which I just found to be way more reliable than any custom agent, any agent, or anything like that. You can do it. I decided to go with langchain instead of initialize agent, because even though with initialize agent you can have your tool built into the agent, and then it'll run and look for blog articles related to that, related to whatever you pass into the agent. It'll it can search Google by itself, but it was just completely not reliable, especially with the output parsing, and there was just so much. So I think langchain might be the best way to go forward, because it's just so much more reliable than agent. And then you can just take the summary and use a retriever when you need to use the retriever. So tag schema is pretty much the same. Here, image to WordPress is searching Unsplash with the first tag, downloading the image, uploading it, and then uploading it to the WordPress site. So you have a related image, 7, 8 out of 10 times it's pretty related, and then the other 2 it's sometimes not related. But I don't see a way to really automate that unless you want to go manually do every image. You can do that if you want. Now it's just cleaning the tags and getting the actual tag IDs from WordPress so that you can put it in the post JSON here. And then blog is the real thing that you need to pay attention to here. So that's the blog function, which is in GPT keyword functions. And then title schemas pretty much works the same way as it is using a retriever in here, but I won't show you in there. The heading schema is important because the heading schema will give you 10 to 13 different headings for your article on keyword. It'll take in the entire context because in this case I want it to search the entire string of summaries to take out the key ideas and make them into headings, and it does that really reliably, this prompt and the schema and everything like that. A little bit of output parsing done manually. So then intro schemas is important, but we'll just go over section schemas, which is pretty much the same. The intro will just create an intro using the retriever so that you're not passing in the whole context again, because that's costly. It can cost like this one heading schema is probably cost 3 cents, something like that, or like 2 cents. So section schemas is the real important thing here. I'll go over section schemas. You're passing the retriever and the LLM, which is langchain here. So you pretty much just make the retriever QA thing, and then one second. So for heading and headings list, headings schemas will give a list of headings with the key headings lists in the dictionary. So then I just iterate for heading and headings, and then pass each heading separately to section schemas. So section schemas will take the heading, it'll do qa.run, which I can show you down here. This is essentially what the variable closest here will give. Usually it's longer than this, but it usually, sometimes, as you can see over here, it's like 5 paragraphs. So what the retrieval Q&A is finding is the closest information to the heading, and that's important because then we can just pass the closest stuff into the context here, and you don't have to pass in all 5,000 words. It'll be 250 to 500 words, save you a lot of money and time and everything. So then it'll write 650 word paragraphs. Usually it's about 300 to 400 words long each section, using the context, which I already said is the closest information in the entire document to the heading. And then there's a lot of output parsing done manually here because it doesn't reliably give you JSON back. Like 1 out of 10 will be like misformatted, and then you need to do a bunch of manual parsing here. But I've finally gotten this to work like 99 to 100%, 99.5, 99.9% of the time now. So then it'll give you this section back, plant-based powders, all this stuff, and that's the blog section for this heading, the power of plant-based protein powders. And so then is essentially it'll create a finished CSV if not for the keyword, and then it'll put it in the finished CSV to make sure that you're not writing everything twice or whatever, it'll check the finished CSV in the GPT keyword to make sure that you're not doing duplicates and stuff like that. So then when it's done, like, and you run it with the same keyword, it won't it will just not give you anything because it's already done all the keywords for that larger keyword, which is superfood. So that's essentially how it works. It's like pretty simple, but like I just found the retrieval Q&A is the nicest way of doing everything because you save a lot of money. I already said that, but yeah. So the code is available on GitHub, and if you like it, start it, clone it, fork it, and if you have anything to add, mainly for the picture, or if you can find a way to make subheadings in places where it's like applicable, I think that those would be the biggest changes that I want to make in the future, but I'm just not sure exactly how to do that. Either one of those things. More relevant images. I already tried DALL-E and I tried generating images, but it's just not high quality enough, and a lot of them like have letters that just don't make sense and stuff like that in those AI image generation stuff. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you, probably make another video on it later.